There's the church. Do you think they're actually ringing the bells as good as I can ring them? I don't think so. Morning everybody, how are you doing? Glorious sunny day today in Bury. I've been out already for some breakfast. I thought, oh, it's nice and sunny, I'll make a video, smoke the rest of me corn cob on St Bruno today. Yeah, how about, this is a subject, kids of today versus us kids when we were in the 70s, 80s or 60s, whatever. You know, kids of today, they sit there, don't they, playing on the computer games in the rooms like this. Call of Duty. Can you imagine what the thumbs are going to be like when they're older? They'll have arthritis like mad like that. A bit like my finger. Anyway, yeah. When we were kids, you know, people say, oh, we played out and we did this, we did that. But to be honest with you, it was really dangerous. It really, really was. Because some of the things we got up to. I mean, let's just start. We used to go on the canal when it was iced up. That was a pretty dangerous thing to do. Play on the railway lines. You know, that was a bit dangerous. Play at the swamp. That was dangerous. Jump the brook on your bike. Used to do that. Go under the canal or under the pin where the brook went underneath. We'd go under there. And I remember one day we went out as a gang and we ended up in this flipping on the side of this factory, and we climbed onto the roof, and I remember going up it, and there was one of these sash windows, and I was there and was looking down, and there was all these blokes doing a day's work, you know, just flipping on their lathes, and me watching them thinking, I shouldn't be up here really, should I? But yeah. And air rifle battles. We used to go on this farm. You used to know this guy, Steve Jones, if he's watching. He's in New Zealand now. But used to live on a farm, and we always used to end up going on there with these air rifles. And one day we got into this battle with these lads from Wythenshawe. It was right near where Manchester Airport is, around there, the lanes at the back, and that was pretty frightening actually. All these pellets flying past us, and then I actually got shot. Yes, but I'm like, oh, flipping hurts. Very lucky, really, actually. It's not to have any, you know, but you know, could have took my eye out, couldn't it? All the daft, and we used to go fishing and arsing about all the time, setting fire to things. Now, the worst person for setting fire to things was a certain Mr. Robert Cummins, and every time he come round to our house, it was always, come on, let's burn something. Let's you know, let's make a device. And especially when he used to get together with my brother, because the pair of them were buggers. Well, as soon as they got together, them two, it was going to be mischief. And we used to have a fire. You know, every now and then we'd have a fire at the back of the garden, burn a load of rubbish. And end of summer, like, you know, it's going dark. And this one particular night, Bob and my brother had made this device out of French firecrackers, really powerful firecrackers that Bob had brought back with him from somewhere, and resistance wire and some old alarm clock. Anyway, clever bit of engineering, to be honest. But, so we sat there, but he had it all wired up, and it all went back, all the way back to the mains in the house, because we didn't have electric in the garage, so there was a big long lead going all the way back. Anyway, 8 o'clock, and just a bit of 10 seconds quiet, and then all of a sudden, boom, and we made, what a bang, it was like the start of the Somme. And they planted it in, the guy who lived at the back, he was a bit of a nasty guy, we used to call him Baldy, he'd pinch your ball, Baldy had a bald head, and they buried it in his grass. So this thing had gone off, and you should have seen the crater it left, it was flipping like a bin lid size. But when that went off, apparently everybody's lights on the road, they all flickered for some reason. You know, everyone sat there watching the lights and flickering. I don't know, that's what people said. my dad said. And then people were going, what the hell's that? What the bloody hell? And all this, because it was such a loud bang, you know. And my dad found this wire then, plugged in. What's this? And he started tracing it along the grass and along the side. So he realised it was us arsing about. So that was one of the times Bob got banned from our house by my mum. You're not coming here again, Robert Cummins. You're a bad influence. Every time you come here, something happens. So you're banned. You're banned. I'll let Bob tell you about another time he got banned.
You're gonna give me a bad reputation, I guess. Getting banned. But it's true. You get banned regular from Gizzy's house because of buggering about. There was one instance when it was around that age where you were still at school, but you hadn't quite discovered the delights of alcohol yet. But you had found the merits of pyrotechnics and stuff. So we at the time, there was a product on the market, a type of weed killer, that if you mixed it with a few other products, you could get a good combustion thing going. And depending on whether or not you let it just burn openly, you'd get a massive smoke bomb. Or if you compressed it in such a way, you'd get a good bang. And if you compressed it in such a different way and put it in a different container, then you'd start getting a crater. And of course, if you could get a good bang with a crater, that was a win. and yes, we made a few of these. But anyway, in the process of pissing about with this particular stuff round at Gizzy's back garden with his brother, as he said, we mixed up this concoction with the weed killer and these other various bits and pieces, of course. And when we lit it, it burnt with like a greeny yellow flame, but it increased its flammability, if you will, and it went from just being a sort of a fire to a roaring flame that came out powerfully with a huge plume of white smoke. And we thought that was ace. So we thought, if you could contain that in an open pipe, would it act like a jet? And, you know, we could maybe make a bit of a jet engine out of it, or make a rocket or some kind like that. So anyway, the only pipe we could find was part of an old bog. It had about a 4-inch diameter on it. It was probably about 2 foot long, and it had a bit of a bend at the end that we couldn't get rid of. So anyway, we rigged that up with this stuff. We made a tin full of this weed killer and stuff, and we set it off behind their garage. And we put the tin in the ground, lit it, and then put the pipe on top just to see if we could direct the jet. And now we lit it and we stepped back. And now it started. And you've never heard such a racket in all your life. It sounded like an F-15 taking off from an aircraft carrier. It was spectacular. The flames were coming out of this pipe 10 feet easy. Big green yellow flames blasting out of this pipe like a back end of a doodlebug, the V1 rocket. White smoke going everywhere. And Giz cries out, "Me mum!" Of course, we were powerless to do anything about this. Anyhow, his mum and dad come round the back of the garage, and Alan's jumps in front of this bloody huge flame and roar and smoke and blah, and he kicks it over into the plants, which then immediately caught fire. And there was all this smoke and all these flames, this almighty racket going on. And his mum says, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And he stood there in front of it, sweet as you like, and he went, "Nothing, mum." And behind him, there's bedlam going on behind him. "Nothing, mum. No, nothing." Anyway, Alan must have been about, he must have been 17 then, easy. Yeah, he must have been about 17 then, anyway. Much to my delight and amusement, of course, you're trying not to laugh in a situation like that, because obviously his parents were fuming. They were mad as hatters. Giz got away with it because he was obviously an innocent bystander. And of course, I was there, so I was guilty by association. But because Alan tried to conceal it, he was sent to bed. "Get to bed!" she said. And she points at me and says, "You get home, you're banned. You're not coming round here again. You're a bad influence." Oh, do you know, you've never seen anything like it. It was so funny. But Alan, nothing, mum. With all this bedlam going on behind him and all these plants on fire, and it's honestly the billowing white smoke everywhere. Oh, it was so funny. It was so fun. I laughed all the way home. And I think that must have been a good band, that. It must have been about 3 weeks. At least 3 weeks. Oh, but yeah, I was always getting banned. But I'll tell you what I am going to do. Not on this particular video, because I think that story in itself about the bogpipe rocket is merit enough for the one episode. But Giz, rather, he skipped over the air rifle gun battle. I think he didn't make it sound quite as good as it actually was, and he didn't elaborate like I think he should have done, because it wasn't just a story you could fob off in a couple of sentences. I will tell you the story as it happened, along with the other things, because that was one of the days when you actually pulled muscles in your stomach because you were laughing that much. You know, when you think about it, when me and Giz, there's some of the shit we used to get up to. It's a wonder we made it as old as we did. It's madness, isn't it? Madness. But I just... Oh. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the story about the rocket engine experiment where Von Bob and Alan tried to create a rocket motor, and he's got busted by his mum and sent to bed. Anyway, I'll bid you good evening.